This is your latest Nerd News.
The UK has once again entered lockdown. However, unlike the lockdown back in spring, this time a majority of students may find themselves locked down at their university residence. With this comes the concern of mental health and well-being. In April, the Mental Health Foundation found almost 1/4 of UK adults have felt loneliness because of coronavirus, and that 44% of young people aged between 18 and 24 years old have felt loneliness. We spoke to Kerry-Ann Randall, Head of Student Wellbeing and Support at BU, to discuss why wellbeing is so important and the services that Bournemouth University is providing students.
My name is Kerry-Ann Randall. I'm the Head of Student Support and Wellbeing here at Bournemouth University. So I trained as a social worker many moons ago and have spent the majority of my career working in local government, so working for local authorities, working with vulnerable students, safeguarding around sort of special educational needs, but particularly working in education, so anything up sort of 0 to 25 age group, and I love it. I love working with other people. I love looking at support available, whether you're a student or an adult or a child, and actually looking at how we can improve things and how we can ensure that we provide support that meets needs. So for me, this is just the perfect job. It brings me into university, onto campus, which is with the current situation notwithstanding, is a fantastic place to be, and it allows me to really build on the wellbeing support we have available for students who are coming to us and students who are coming back after spending some time with us previously. We talk about illness quite a bit, whether that's a physical illness or whether it's a mental illness, but actually when you're talking about wellness, that's everything. So that's whether you're sleeping right, you're eating right, you're giving yourself that sort of time out, you're able to talk about things that are either bothering you or causing you distress. So wellness is a very holistic term, and that's why it's so important, I think, to make sure that you are managing yourself in a way that means that you can function, and that you can function to a point where actually you're managing okay. So if you're not sleeping well, then that can have an impact on your thoughts, your behaviours. You might not know it, but actually it does, and sometimes it can also have an impact on how you learn. If you're not eating properly, believe it or not, that has a huge impact on your ability to sleep and your downtime, and whether you're not having any physical exercise, that can have an impact on your wellness as well. So it's important because it's all encompassing. It's about how we treat ourselves. It's about how we look after ourselves, and our awareness of how if we don't look after ourselves, it can impact on other areas of life, whether that's relationships, whether that's study, whether that's financial management, or whether that's just our behaviour. Sometimes we respond to things or we behave in a way that kind of we're not proud of, or we kind of feel that actually we would have done it differently, or we would have managed a conversation differently. Often that's because we're not looking after ourselves. We're not looking after, we're not sleeping, we're not eating well, we're not exercising, we're not getting fresh air, and we're not probably identifying and addressing the things that are causing us, some distress. Routine is more important than sometimes we think. A time to get up in the morning, and then setting yourself when you're going to study, when you're going to have lunch, when you're going to maybe take your physical activity. Sleep is another really important one. Get into a good sleep routine, so that you've got this routine where you go to bed at a reasonable hour, you know how much sleep you need, and you do everything you can in order to try and engage good deep sleep. So relaxation before bed, putting the phone away maybe before bed, anything you're sort of watching online, just giving yourself that sort of breathing space. So routine for the day, but also routine with sleep is really important. And I think probably my biggest advice is for people just to talk to someone, whether that's a flatmate or a security guard in halls, or that they're sort of somebody they're talking to on a Zoom chat or something. I think the more we talk about how we're feeling, the more we talk about sort of issues that are impacting on how we're feeling, the more we're likely to then feel able to be signposted or to access the help that is available. not everyone finds it easy. Not everyone finds it easy to find the words and to find the way of articulating how they're feeling. So for those people, my suggestion would be to write it down, to write down the key sort of words of how you're feeling when you're feeling at your lowest. So when you do have that conversation, or when you do ring your GP, or when you ring, somebody else for some support, then you've got that reference of, actually, I might be okay now, but when I was feeling at my lowest, this is how I was feeling, and this is, this is what I need some support with. Our concierge here is Ask BU, so it's a really easy sort of Ask BU email address to use. All of our support services are available through our web pages. The information is all there, so if you start on our web pages, you can then navigate through to the support that's needed. The biggest step is picking up the phone, and regardless of whether that's Ask BU or Student Wellbeing or Student Engagement Team, don't ever think that you're bothering someone, or that you're wasting someone's time, or that you're not important, because our staff are here, they're working remotely, and actually no issue is small or insignificant. Because if it's an issue for you, then it's causing you the need to talk about it. So it's important to us. At the moment, it's a really tough time, and students have come to the university, and for the first time, first year students, and they've come to university and they've gone into halls, and they're not having the same experience as they would have expected. And I think it's important just to acknowledge that actually it is a little bit more tough, a lot more tough this year than it has been in previous years. But this isn't forever. The situation that we're in will pass, and I think it's just holding on to that fact that everything that we provide for students is being provided, albeit remotely. We can't wait for the time when students are back on campus and able to freely move around without restrictions, and that time will come. And until then, just make the most of your opportunities, make the most of your experience, and talk to us if you're struggling, because that's why we're here, and we genuinely care about how students are feeling. And there's nothing more frustrating when we don't know, because we can help. And so that's my final message is to just to remind people that we're here to help, and whatever you're feeling is likely to be very normal under the current circumstances, and it's not easy for many of us, but we're all in this together.
Nerve News. Keep up to date at nervemedia.org.uk.